Without me, you're nothing, Ethan said, smiling while she broke. The conference room lights were too bright, too cold, too sharp. Naomi didn't argue, didn't blink, didn't defend herself once. She stood there, hands still, as her badge was taken. Fired. Just like that. Phones buzzed softly around the glass walls. People avoided her eyes, whispering behind polite silence. Ethan leaned back, satisfied, watching her fall without lifting a finger. But Naomi Brooks was never just an employee in that room. 10 years, she built systems no one else understood. Numbers flowed through her mind like quiet precision. She didn't just close deals, she designed them from nothing. Late nights, cold coffee, spreadsheets that held companies together. Including his. Especially his. Ethan never saw the patterns she fixed behind him. The debts she restructured before they collapsed. The silent transfers that kept his company breathing. He only saw her paycheck. Bigger than his. Louder than his pride. That was enough for him to destroy her. Outside, the city moved like nothing happened. Naomi stepped into the elevator, shoulders steady, breath even. No tears. Not here. Not for them. Inside her bag, a folder rested quietly. Contracts. Projections. A 10-year reserve fund no one knew existed. Not even Ethan. Meanwhile, in a corner office across town, Ethan opened an email. A new investment confirmed. 7 figures. Anonymous source. He laughed, low and satisfied, pouring himself a drink. Finally free, he thought. Free from her money. Free from her shadow. But back in that silent elevator, Naomi pressed the ground floor button. Her reflection stared back. Calm, distant, done. She had already made her decision weeks ago. This was just the final step. The doors opened. Cold air met her face as she walked out without turning back. In her hand, a small envelope. Inside it, a signed document with his name on it. And one sentence waiting for him to read. Upstairs, Ethan's phone suddenly rang. The bank. His smile faded as he answered. The voice on the line didn't sound impressed. It sounded careful. Precise. Mr. Cole, we need to confirm the origin of your recent funds. He frowned, confused for the first time that day. His eyes drifted to the contract on his desk. The one Naomi was supposed to close. The one he destroyed. His hand hovered over it. Something cold settling in his chest. Down on the street, Naomi reached the curb. A black car pulled up, right on time. She didn't hesitate. Didn't look back. Didn't wait. She opened the door, slid inside, and closed it quietly behind her. Upstairs, Ethan picked up the contract with shaking fingers. And for the first time, he started to read what she had really built for him. The office felt different the moment she was gone. Emails stacked up faster than anyone could respond. A deal stalled because no one knew the numbers. Ethan refreshed his inbox, waiting for updates that never came. The new investment still sat there, untouched, unexplained. His assistant knocked, hesitant, holding a tablet tightly. The vendors are asking about delayed payments again. Ethan frowned, scrolling through accounts he barely understood. Numbers did not align the way they used to. Cash flow looked strong yesterday, unstable today. Something small was missing, but everything depended on it. Downstairs, a junior analyst whispered to another quietly. Naomi used to fix this before it even showed up. Ethan overheard just enough to feel it land. He dismissed it with a wave, but his jaw tightened. He opened another file, then another, finding gaps everywhere. Reports incomplete. Forecasts inconsistent. The system she built was still running, but barely holding. His phone buzzed again, sharper this time. The bank followed up with a second request. We need confirmation of the transfer origin immediately. Ethan's voice hardened, but his fingers slowed. He could not answer a question he did not understand. In the silence, the contract on his desk pulled his attention again. He flipped through the pages quickly, then slower. The numbers inside were not random projections. They were tied directly to his company's survival. Every line connected to a problem he thought he solved alone. A memory surfaced, unwanted, clear. Naomi working late, lights still on after midnight. Screens glowing, her face calm, focused, invisible to him. He had called it obsession. Now it looked like control. Another message came through his system. One client just pulled out completely. No warning. No explanation. The domino had started to fall. Ethan stood up, pacing for the first time. The office felt smaller, tighter, unfamiliar. His assistant spoke again, voice lower now. She handled the restructuring last quarter, all of it. Ethan stopped moving. That was not a small task. That was the foundation. Outside, rain started tapping against the glass. Soft but constant. Inside, the silence grew heavier with each second. He opened the banking file again, searching deeper this time. Hidden entries. Scheduled transfers. A pattern forming slowly. Not random. Intentional. Built over years. His breath slowed as the realization crept closer. This was not support. This was a system she designed around him. His phone rang again, louder now, impossible to ignore. He answered, voice tight. The bank did not hesitate this time. Sir, the full reserve account belongs to Naomi Brooks. The words did not end there, but Ethan stopped listening. His eyes dropped to the final page of the contract. A clause he never noticed before. A condition tied to her position. Her signature. And his company's future attached to it. His hand trembled slightly as he read the last line again. And suddenly one question hit harder than everything else. If she built all of this quietly, then what exactly happens now that she is gone? Naomi did not disappear, she just changed rooms. A small office, clean desk, one laptop, no noise. First day, no title, no assistant, no pressure. By noon, 2 calls came in from old contacts. By evening, she declined both without hesitation. She was not chasing work anymore, she was choosing it. Across town, Ethan sat in a meeting that went nowhere. Numbers did not match, projections fell apart mid-sentence. A senior manager spoke up quietly. Naomi used to stabilize this before it reached us. The room went still for a second. No one argued with that. Back in her office, Naomi reviewed a portfolio slowly. A mid-sized firm on the edge of collapse. Weak liquidity, unstable debt structure, no clear path forward. She closed the file, then opened it again. Not for approval, for reconstruction. The next morning, she walked into a small conference room. No announcement, no introduction, just a quiet seat at the table. 10 minutes later, the room shifted. Questions stopped. People started listening. A man across the table leaned forward. Who designed this recovery model? Naomi did not answer right away. She just pointed at the numbers. By the end of the meeting, the same man stood up first. We would like to bring you in full time. That was not a suggestion. That was recognition. Outside the room, a junior associate whispered to another. She fixed in 1 hour what we failed. All week. No one laughed. No one corrected it. The tone had changed completely. Across the city, Ethan refreshed another report. Another client paused their contract. No clear reason, just hesitation. His assistant entered, more direct this time. There are calls coming in asking for Naomi. He looked up sharply. From who? She hesitated. From companies we are trying to secure. That was new. That was not normal. Back in the new office, Naomi stood by the window. No rush, no stress, just control. Her phone rang once. She answered calmly. The voice on the other end sounded respectful, careful. We heard you are available now. She did not smile. She just listened. Later that afternoon, she walked into another meeting. This time, people stood when she entered. Not out of habit, out of respect. No one questioned her presence. No one ignored her anymore. Across town, Ethan opened a new message. A familiar name. The same firm she met that morning. They were no longer interested in working with him. They had chosen another consultant. He read the name twice. Naomi Brooks. His chest tightened, not from anger, from something heavier. Something he could not control. He stood up suddenly, pacing again. This was not coincidence anymore. This was movement. This was shift. The same woman he dismissed was now being requested over him. His phone buzzed again, faster now, louder than before. A board member this time. We need to talk about your position. Ethan froze for a second. Outside, Naomi stepped out of the building into late afternoon light. Calm, steady, moving forward without looking back. But this time, people noticed. This time, people followed. And somewhere between those calls and those meetings, one question grew too loud to ignore. If everyone else is starting to see her value now, how much longer can Ethan pretend he does not? Ethan did not expect to see her again this soon. The meeting room was already full when he walked in. Executives, partners, people who used to wait for him. But today, they were waiting for someone else. He stopped at the door when he saw her. Naomi stood near the screen, calm, focused, already mid-discussion. No hesitation in her voice. No sign of the woman he thought he broke. A senior partner noticed him and nodded briefly. Not welcoming. Just acknowledging he arrived late. We can begin. Now, the partner said, but his eyes stayed on her. Ethan took a seat, slower than usual. Something felt off immediately. The presentation on the screen looked familiar. Too familiar. Numbers aligned in a way only one person used to do. Naomi moved through the data without notes. Clear, direct, controlled. No one interrupted her. That never used to happen. A man across the table leaned forward. This restructuring plan is clean. Who led this? The room stayed quiet for a second. Then another voice answered before she could. She did. No doubt. No hesitation. Ethan felt that land deeper than expected. Naomi did not look at him. Not once. She clicked to the next slide. His company name appeared on the screen. His chest tightened instantly. This was not coincidence anymore. This was direct. Your current liquidity position is unstable, she said, voice even. Not emotional. Not personal. Just fact. The same tone he used to dismiss her. Now it sounded different coming from her. Stronger. Final. Someone asked, can this be fixed? Naomi paused briefly, then answered, yes. But not the way it has been handled. A few heads turned toward Ethan without saying his name. That was enough. That shift was clear. The control he used to have was gone. Ethan leaned forward, trying to regain ground. You are making assumptions without full context. His voice came out sharper than planned. Naomi finally looked at him. Just 1 second. Calm. Steady. Unmoved. I worked inside that context for years, she said quietly. No anger. No need to prove anything. Just truth. The room did not push back. No one defended him. That was new. A senior advisor spoke next. We should follow her model. Just like that. Decision shifted. Not to him. To her. Ethan sat back slowly. He felt it now. Not anger. Not pride. Something closer to loss. Not just business. Something deeper. The woman he thought needed him was now being trusted over him. In front of him. Without question. The meeting moved on without him leading it. That had never happened before. Naomi closed her laptop calmly at the end. No applause. Just quiet respect. People stood as she gathered her things. Not for formality. For her. Ethan remained seated for a second longer. Watching. Trying to understand when everything changed. As she walked past him, she did not stop. Did not slow down. Did not acknowledge him. That silence said more than anything else. But just before she reached the door, a partner spoke again. We will need full access to the previous internal records. Naomi paused slightly. Not surprised. Not hesitant. I already have them, she replied. Ethan's head snapped up instantly. That was not possible. Those files were locked inside his system. His control. His space. His last advantage. Naomi did not look back as she opened the door. And for the first time, Ethan realized something was still hidden. Something he did not see. Something she had already prepared. And whatever it was about to change everything again. The room did not return to normal after she left. People stayed seated longer than usual, thinking quietly. No one spoke to Ethan on the way out. That silence followed him back to his office. He did not check his phone right away. He just stood there, replaying the moment she walked past him. The way she did not look at him. That stayed. A partner's words echoed in his head. We will proceed with her plan starting tomorrow. No discussion. No vote. Just a decision already made. Ethan finally sat down, slower than usual. His authority did not disappear loudly. It faded in front of everyone. Back at his desk, the first system alert triggered. A scheduled payment failed without explanation. Then another one followed within minutes. His assistant rushed in, holding 2 reports. These approvals used to be automatic under Naomi's structure. Ethan grabbed the files, scanning quickly, missing connections again. The system was still running, but no longer protecting him. Across the city, Naomi sat at a long table with senior advisors. This time, she was not presenting. She was leading the room. A consultant paused mid-sentence and looked at her directly. We need your call on this. No hesitation. No second opinion. Naomi reviewed the numbers briefly. Then she gave a clear adjustment. Within seconds, the team moved forward without question. That shift was visible to everyone in the room. Outside the glass wall, junior staff whispered again. She is running the whole structure now. Not helping. Not assisting. Running it. That word carried weight. Back in his office, Ethan received another message. A long-term client had moved their contract quietly. No confrontation. Just a polite exit. He stared at the email longer than necessary. That client had trusted him for years. Now they were gone without warning. His assistant spoke again, slower this time. They requested Naomi personally. That sentence stayed in the air longer than anything else. Ethan leaned back, staring at the ceiling for a second. He did not feel angry this time, just unsettled. The pattern was no longer subtle. It was direct, consistent, undeniable. He opened the internal logs again, digging deeper this time. Hidden layers appeared under familiar structures. Backup protocols. Silent safeguards. Entire systems he never built himself. His hand slowed as he realized something uncomfortable. These were not support tools. These were core systems. Systems that kept everything stable before it broke. And they all traced back to her. Meanwhile, Naomi stepped into a smaller meeting room. This one was different. Fewer people. Higher stakes. A senior investor stood as she entered. Not polite. Respectful. "We have been waiting for you," he said. Not for the company. For her. That difference was clear. Naomi placed a file on the table calmly. "This is the full recovery structure. No extra words. No explanation." The investor opened it slowly, scanning line by line. His expression shifted as he read further. "This was built over years," he said quietly. Naomi did not respond. She did not need to. The work spoke for her. Back across town, Ethan found a locked folder deep inside the system. It required a secondary access code. One he did not have. His chest tightened slightly. That had never happened before. He tried to override it, but the system denied him instantly. For the first time, he was locked out of something inside his own company. His assistant stepped back from the door, watching him struggle. She said nothing, but her expression changed. Not fear. Not confusion. Recognition. He was no longer in control. Ethan leaned closer to the screen, reading the folder label again. It carried Naomi's name. And a date from years ago. A time when he thought she was just starting. His fingers hovered over the keyboard, unsure now. Because one question was starting to grow heavier than everything else. If she built all of this before he ever noticed her value, then what else did she leave behind that he still cannot see? The folder did not open, but the system left traces. Ethan pulled older logs, digging deeper into archived data. Timestamps started lining up in a way he never saw. Late nights. Early mornings. Repeated adjustments made before every major success. He clicked into a file from 3 years ago. The biggest deal he ever closed. The one that made his reputation. The numbers inside were not his structure. They matched Naomi's pattern exactly. Clean layers. Hidden safeguards. Silent corrections built into every step. His breathing slowed as he scrolled further. That deal should have failed twice. It did fail. Then someone corrected it overnight. No credit. No record under his name. Only a hidden user tag. NB. His hand froze on the mouse. Another file opened. A crisis report from 2 years ago. He remembered that week clearly. He told everyone he handled it alone. The logs told a different story. Naomi accessed the system at 2:30 in the morning. Rebuilt the risk model. Stabilized the losses before sunrise. He took the credit at 9. His chair creaked as he leaned back slowly. The room felt colder now. Not from air. From truth. A message popped up from his assistant. "You should see this." She stepped in, placing a printed report on his desk. External audit review. Requested by the new consulting team. He flipped to the summary page. His company's stability rating depended on one system. One structure. Built quietly over 10 years. Designed by Naomi Brooks. The words did not move, but everything inside him did. This was not support work. This was foundation. His success was not built alone. It was carried, reinforced, protected by someone he dismissed. Across town, Naomi stood with a senior investor again. The man spoke carefully this time. "We reviewed your historical models." He paused, looking directly at her. "You have been running 2 companies at once." No exaggeration. No doubt. That statement stayed in the room. Naomi did not react. She already knew. Back in his office, Ethan opened one last archive. A personal reserve account. 10 years of transfers. Small at first, then growing. Consistent. Intentional. Every deposit aligned with moments his company almost collapsed. She was not just fixing problems. She was funding survival. Quietly. Completely. His chest tightened as the full picture formed. Every win he celebrated. Every risk he took. None of it stood alone. It stood on her work. Her money. Her silence. His confidence cracked for the first time. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just gone. Replaced by something heavier. something he could not ignore. He stood up abruptly, grabbing his coat without thinking. His assistant looked up, surprised. "Where are you going?" He did not answer right away. His eyes stayed fixed on the door. Because now he knew one thing clearly. He had never actually been in control. And the woman who was, had already walked away. His hand tightened around the folder as he moved fast. Because if everything he believed about his success was wrong, then the next step was unavoidable. He needed to face her. And this time, he would not be the one in control. He did not sleep that night. The file stayed open on his screen until morning. Every line he read replaced something he once believed. By sunrise, he was no longer trying to understand. He was trying to catch up. That urgency followed him out the door. He did not call first. He drove straight to her office. No plan, no script, just urgency pushing every step. The building lobby was quiet, but security stopped him immediately. "Do you have an appointment with Ms. Brooks?" Ethan hesitated for 1 second too long. That was enough. "I just need 5 minutes, he said, voice tighter now. The guard did not move, just pointed toward reception. "You can request time like everyone else." Like everyone else. That line landed harder than expected. Upstairs, Naomi stepped out of a meeting, calm and composed. A colleague walked beside her, holding notes carefully. "The board approved your structure without changes," he said. She nodded once. No reaction, just confirmation. Her phone buzzed, and she glanced at the message briefly. "Ethan Cole, waiting downstairs." She did not slow her pace. "Reschedule my next call," she said softly. The assistant nodded instantly, already moving. Downstairs, Ethan paced near the glass doors, checking his watch. Minutes stretched longer than they should. People walked past him without recognition. No one stopped. No one greeted him. That had never happened before. Then the elevator opened. Naomi stepped out, steady, unhurried, fully in control. Ethan moved toward her immediately. "Naomi, we need to talk." His voice came out faster than intended. She looked at him, just once, calm, unreadable. "You should schedule time through my office," she replied. No emotion, no pause, just procedure. He stepped closer, lowering his voice. "This is not business. This is us." She did not move back, but she did not step forward. "There is no us in this building," she said quietly. That line cut deeper than anything before. People nearby slowed slightly, noticing the shift. A senior advisor passed them, nodding respectfully to Naomi. "We will see you upstairs," he said. Not to Ethan. To her. That difference was clear. Ethan glanced around, feeling the space change around him. "I did not know," he said quickly. "I did not understand what you were doing." The words felt weak even as he said them. Naomi held his gaze for a moment longer this time. Not angry, not soft, just finished. "You did not ask," she replied. Simple. Final. He reached out slightly, stopping himself before contact. That hesitation said everything. He had never needed permission before. Now he did not even have access. "We can fix this," he said, almost quietly now. She shook her head once, small, controlled. "It was never yours to fix," she answered. That shifted something inside him instantly. The dynamic was gone. Completely reversed. A staff member approached Naomi gently. "The investors are ready for you," he said. She nodded and stepped past Ethan without waiting. No second glance. No hesitation. He stood there, watching her walk away, unable to follow. For the first time, he felt distance that could not be closed by effort. As the elevator doors closed behind her, his phone buzzed again. A legal notification appeared on the screen. Divorce filing confirmed. Effective immediately. Ethan stared at the message, unmoving. Because now the question was no longer how to reach her. It was whether there was anything left to reach at all. She did not invite him, but she did not avoid him either. The room was quiet, late evening, lights low and steady. A single table between them, nothing else in the space. Ethan stood first, then slowly took a seat across from her. No audience this time, no partners, no pressure. Just truth waiting to be said. He looked at her carefully, like seeing her for the first time. "I went through everything," he said, voice lower now. "The deals, the systems, the money, all of it." She did not interrupt. She let him finish, like she always did before. But this time, it was different. He leaned forward, hands tight together. "None of it. Was mine, was it?" That question stayed in the air longer than expected. Naomi rested her hands on the table, calm, steady. "It was yours to lead," she said quietly. "But you never saw what was holding it up." No blame in her tone. Just clarity. Ethan swallowed hard, eyes dropping for a moment. I thought I built everything, he admitted. I thought you needed me. Naomi gave a small nod. You needed that to be true, she replied. That line settled deep, final, unshakable. He looked up again, something shifting in his expression. Not anger. Not pride. Just realization. Why did you never tell me? He asked, almost softly now. Naomi held his gaze without hesitation. Because you never listened when I spoke, she answered. No hesitation. No second thought. That was the truth. Plain and complete. Ethan leaned back slowly, the weight of it settling in. Every moment replayed differently now. Every silence, every late night, every quiet correction. He missed all of it, or chose not to see it. I can fix this, he said again, but this time it sounded weaker. Not like control, like hope that already knew the answer. Naomi shook her head once, calm and certain. There is nothing left to fix between us, she said. That was the end of it. Not loud, not dramatic, just finished. He looked at her longer this time, searching for something. Any sign of hesitation, any trace of the woman who once stayed. There was none, only someone who had already moved forward. You built everything around me, he said quietly, and I destroyed it. Naomi did not deny it. She simply nodded once. You destroyed your place in it, she corrected. That difference hit harder than anything else. He was not the center anymore. He was not needed, not even in the memory of it. Silence filled the room again, heavier than before. Ethan sat there, understanding finally complete. Not partial, not hopeful, complete. He had lost more than a relationship. He lost the foundation that carried him. Naomi stood up first, calm as always. No rush, no hesitation. Just done. She picked up a folder from the table and slid it toward him. He looked at it, then at her. What is this? He asked quietly. Naomi stepped back slightly, already creating distance. The final record, she said. Everything I did, everything you never saw. Her voice did not shake. It did not need to. Ethan stared at the folder, afraid to open it. Because he already knew what it meant. This was not proof anymore. This was closure. Naomi turned toward the door, stopping only for a second. Not to look back, just to breathe. Then she spoke one last time. I gave you everything I had, she said. You only valued what you could control. That was it. No anger. No regret. Just truth. She walked out without waiting for a response. The door closed softly behind her. Ethan remained seated, the folder still untouched in front of him. And for the first time, he did not move. Because opening it would not change anything. It would only confirm what he had already lost. Naomi did not return to the life she left behind. She built a new one that did not require explanation. A corner office with glass walls and steady light. A team that waited for her decisions without question. Meetings that started when she arrived, not before. Her name carried weight now, not whispers. She walked through spaces where people listened the first time. No second chances needed. No proof required. The systems she designed were no longer hidden. They were requested, studied, respected by people who understood their value. She did not rush anymore. She chose where to go, who to help, what to build. Calm replaced pressure. Clarity replaced survival. Across the city, Ethan still sat in the same office. But nothing inside it felt the same. The chair felt larger, emptier than before. The screens showed numbers he no longer trusted. Reports came in slower, weaker, less certain. His name still held position, but not influence. People listened differently now. Shorter, polite, but distant. The folder she left sat open on his desk. Pages marked with her work, her structure, her years. He read them all. Every line, every detail, every silent correction. It was not anger that stayed with him. It was understanding. Quiet, heavy, and too late. He saw it clearly now. Every success he claimed had her fingerprints on it. Every risk he survived had her protection behind it. And every moment he dismissed her, she was still building around him. Not for credit. Not for recognition. Just because she believed in something he never took time to see. He stopped trying to reach her after that night. Not because he gave up. Because he understood. There was nothing left to fix. Nothing left to return to. The distance was not physical anymore. It was final. One afternoon, he watched from across the street as she stepped out of a building. People walked beside her, asking questions, waiting for her answers. She moved through them easily, not above them, but clearly leading. He did not step forward. He did not call her name. He just watched quietly. Not with regret alone. With acceptance. That she no longer needed to be seen by him. She already was. Naomi paused briefly at the curb, adjusting her coat against the wind. For a second, the city noise softened around her. She looked forward, not back. Not once. Because everything behind her had already been settled. She did not carry anger. She did not carry pain. She carried distance. The kind that comes from knowing exactly where you stand. And exactly where you no longer belong. The past did not define her anymore. It explained her. That was enough. Across the street, Ethan lowered his gaze, hands still at his sides. No call. No step forward. Just stillness. Because now he understood something he could not change. He had spent years being supported by someone he never truly saw. And by the time he finally did, she no longer needed to be seen at all.